Oh, a Haunting Hour episode about fear. Oh yeah, they're all about fear. You want to see something really scary? Do ya? Look at this! Hi everybody, my name's King Newsme. So I just got home from vacation and I haven't had the best upload schedule recently. So I decided I couldn't leave you guys hanging for another week again. And you want to know what show brings everyone back? The Haunting Hour, baby. It's also been a month since my last Haunting Hour video, so I think it's about time for another one. And for those who don't know, The Haunting Hour is a kids anthology horror show that aired from 2010 to 2014 on a now defunct channel called The Hub. It was created by R.L. Stein, who's known for his popular book series turned TV show, Goosebumps. The Haunting Hour is known as a darker version of Goosebumps and is one of the scariest kid shows of all time, with its eerie visuals, some actually terrifying monsters, and pretty dark twist endings to the episodes. It takes some short stories from some of Stein's other books, like one so conveniently named The Haunting Hour, and another one called The Nightmare Hour, as well as some stories from other authors, which is why I like this series a lot. Today we're going to be taking a look at the 11th episode of the first season, Fear Never Knocks. It's considered to be one of the best episodes of the series by fans and critics alike, and it is the second highest rated episode on IMDb, right behind my favorite episode, Scarecrow. Definitely go check that video out. It was when I was still kind of new to YouTube, so I'm a little shy in that video. It was directed by Peter DeLuise, who has directed some of the best episodes in the series. Like, literally, this dude does not miss. He directed Afraid of Clowns, Catching Cold, Creature Feature, Swarmin' Norman, Stage Fright, and he probably has the best run of episodes out of any director in this series. He also directed the R.L. Stein movie Cabinet of Souls with Dove Cameron in it, so that's pretty cool. And the episode was written by Gillian Horvath, who also wrote the episode Night of the Mummy. This episode is also pretty popular because it is the first thing you see whenever you look up The Haunting Hour on Google. It's literally right there. It's either that or Lily D. There's no in between. So it's actually kind of surprising that I haven't talked about it yet. Why haven't I done that? This episode also has a pretty star-studded cast that I'm very excited to talk about, so let's quit yapping and get into the episode. We start this episode at a nice-ass house, where we meet one of our main characters, Jenny, as she's eavesdropping on her Grandpa George's therapy session, which isn't illegal, but morally it's not okay.
What are you doing? Hey, stop, I'm trying to listen. And how does that make you feel? What do you mean, how does it make me feel? It hurts, there's like 10 bullet holes in my chest!
And as she does that, her goofy ass little brother Jack comes downstairs fighting off some invisible demons. Jack tells his sister that they're not supposed to be downstairs while their grandpa is working, but she just waves him off like he's a little puppy, because these therapy sessions are supposed to be insanely private. You see, their grandpa is a therapist that helps people get over their fears. And Jenny finds this really interesting and she wants to know exactly how he does it. And this particular patient is scared of spiders, which isn't too crazy, but I personally know a lot of people that are afraid of spiders. Nah, I'm just kidding. I wouldn't do that. That's too evil. No, seriously, that would be so mean. Finally, we get to actually see Grandpa George at work. He opens up this really old recorder disguised as a suitcase and makes his patient describe her fear of spiders. Not how the fear started or why she's scared of spiders, but what about spiders exactly makes her scared? What does she picture when he says the word spider? And as she describes her fear,
this is boring.
Jack gets them caught. Luckily, I don't think their Grandpa George minds too much. Okay, let's take a small break to talk about the actors real quick. Grandpa George is played by Matthew Walker, and sadly, he isn't in another Haunting Hour episode, but he is in a couple of episodes of The X-Files and The Outer Limits. And next, we had the little brother Jack, who is played by Quinn Lord, and he was also in the episode Pouf de Fromage as Bobby in The Haunting Hour. And fun fact, he's also Sam in the movie Trick or Treat. Yeah, that Sam, the iconic one. This one. That guy, I love Trick or Treat. When I found that out, I freaked out. If I just have him, hold on, have a Sam cam. Oh God, hold on, Sam cam, we gotta have Sam cam. But I just kept him there the whole video. He's staying right there for a little bit longer at least. And finally, Jenny is played by Ariel Winter, and she is also in the episode Headshot. Okay, I can't keep him. I tried. I can't keep him right there. He's blocking my teleprompter, guys. I can't read it. And finally, Jenny is played by Ariel Winter, and she was also in the episode Headshot. And I completely forgot to introduce her in that video, even though she is the main character. Aren't I just the greatest at my job? She was also in an incredibly popular Emmy Award-winning show, Sophia the First. Wow. What great talent. Okay, she's Alex Dunphy in Modern Family. And you guys can stop commenting that, okay? I know that she's in Modern Family. I've seen the show now. I actually really like the show. Phil is my favorite character because he's funny and awkward. And the show makes me laugh, okay? No shit, I get like maybe 10 comments a month on my marathon video and that video saying, no love for Ariel Winter? I'm sorry. Anyways, later that night, Grandpa George gives the kids their dinner.
I'm afraid it's macaroni and cheese again.
You're afraid of macaroni and cheese? He doesn't mean it that way.
I think my boy knows that. He doesn't mean it literally. Man, she just ruined a perfect dad joke too. They talk about their grandpa's job for a bit, where he mentions that he has an award dinner for his lifetime in psychiatry. Ginny is curious about how their grandpa helps people conquer their fears, and then she questions if he has any fears of his own, which he answers with a joke, but Ginny is being dead serious.
Really, what are you afraid of?
But he just says he's afraid of nothing, which I call BS because everyone's afraid of something. Except for me. Except for going outside. And smelling bad. And YouTube comment sections. Ginny is actually really interested in becoming a psychiatrist one day, so she questions her grandpa on how he gets people to get over their fears so easily. Of course, he just says he makes them face their fear, but even I know that's not true. Because she's been eavesdropping, Ginny knows that he just makes his patients say their fear into a tape recorder, and then they come out fearless. This is when Grandpa George suddenly changes the conversation and tells her that she shouldn't be a psychiatrist.
Maybe you should become a district attorney.
What's everyone talking about?
That's what I'm saying, Jack. I mean, psychiatrist, district attorney, these are just made up words. Grandpa George says that he just doesn't think she's old enough to fully understand what exactly psychiatrists do, but she is old enough to know what a district attorney does? What? Later, Grandpa George leaves to go to his award dinner, and he leaves the kids home alone, which might not be the best idea. While their grandpa is away, Ginny decides to be a little mischievous and tries to sneak into her grandpa's office. Jack tries to get her to stop, but just like before, she doesn't listen to him and pushes into the room. And since they're already in there, the two decide to just play psychiatrist for a little bit. But first, they have to start the recorder, which Ginny doesn't know how to do, so she just kind of pushes buttons until it does something. They accidentally rewind the tape that's already in the recorder, and we hear the patient from earlier say that she has trouble sleeping because
I think a spider's gonna crawl into my ear.
Ooh.
you is right. Now I'm gonna have that fear. And after she explains her fear, Grandpa George says that she's going to leave that fear here in the office. And when she gets home, it'll be gone for good. That's when Ginny sees a spider crawling on Jack's chair. He swipes at it and tries to get away, but when they turn around, the spider is gone. Ginny points out how strange it is that when the lady started talking about a spider, one appeared, which is a little weird, but they just brush the incident off as a bizarre coincidence, and then they decide to continue their game of therapy? Man, you know how bored you have to be as a kid to pretend you're a therapist? People dread therapy, and they're doing it for fun. But now it's their turn, so they start the tape, and Jack goes first. Ginny asks him what his worst fear is, which is easy for him. He has a fear of a
Killer dog.
like the smile dog? Oh, maybe Fifi the vampire dog from Goosebumps. He says when he was about 6 years old, he saw an old movie on TV about an evil dog that would rip people's throats out, and it scarred him for life. Oh, so you watched Cujo. That's just straight up Cujo. Anyways, Ginny finishes the session by saying what her grandpa always says. I want you to leave that fear in this office, and when you leave, the fear will be gone. And now it's time to switch. So they swap chairs, and Jack takes a moment to get in character. And then he asks his sister, what's her worst fear? Ginny talks about a reoccurring nightmare she has where she goes into her closet, and behind her clothes, a person is waiting for her. She can't see the lady's face because she wears pantyhose over her head, but she can see her long, sharp fingernails. And she can't explain it, but she has a strong feeling that the woman wants to scratch her eyes out. Ginny runs to escape every time, but no matter what she can do, there is no way out. Yeah, that's slightly more terrifying than Scary Dog. The story is so scary that it has Jack a bit spooked, and he tells his sister that he doesn't want to play anymore. But before they go, she wants to hear their voices on the recorder, so she rewinds the tape back and plays it. Jack is already too scared to listen to it again, so he covers his ears to not hear the spooky stories, baby. But as he's covering his ears, he hears a noise outside the room. Ginny claims that she didn't hear anything, so he just brushes it off as nothing, and they continue to listen to the tape. But maybe Ginny should listen to her little brother, because they have a visitor. Ginny listens to both stories over again, which has Jack very rattled, but now that they've got their stories out, they should feel better, right? But Jack doesn't feel better. He finds his grandpa's office creepy, and so does Ginny. So they decide to pack everything up and do their chores. And while they're doing their chores, Jack spots something horrifying. The evil dog is standing there, waiting for them. So the kids have a pretty rational reaction. I don't think anyone would do anything different. And they run upstairs and lock themselves in a room. And this is when Ginny finally puts the puzzle pieces together. Whenever they listen back to the tape of the lady and she said she was afraid of spiders, a spider appeared. And when they re-listened to the tape of their fears, they summoned a killer dog. But it should have also summoned the crazy lady. Ginny slowly turns around and makes her way over to the closet. Jack tries multiple times to stop her, but he can't. She's stuck in a trance-like state, and she has to go inside the closet. She slowly opens the closet door and makes her way inside, and uncovers. Terrified, the kids run to the front door to escape, but when they get there, the doorknobs are gone. There is no escape. Jack thinks quickly and tries to call their grandpa, but when he picks up the phone literally melts in his hands. Now they're stuck in there with nowhere to go and no way to call for help. And a killer dog and an eye-ripping maniac is closing in on them slowly. Ginny theorizes that if they face their fear, they must go away. So she closes her eyes and takes some deep breaths, calming herself down and making the maniac go away. She then helps her little brother do the same until both of the threats are completely gone.
Nicely done.
Who are you and how'd you get in the house? Ginny asks the mysterious man who he is, but rather than give her a name or even a nickname, he just says he's someone who will never leave, no matter how much breathing you do. He then asks to see their grandfather, who isn't home. Luckily, Ginny is smart and knows that she needs to lie to keep them both safe. So she tells the guy that their grandpa is downstairs in the basement with a shotgun. Okay, this isn't making me feel better about the situation. The man was just trying to see what Ginny would say if she were asked that question, but he knows exactly where he is. But luckily for the kids, he isn't there to kidnap them or murder them. He just wants their grandpa's magic box. And he knows that they know where it is because he knows that they've been playing with it. I mean, they just had a crazy lady and an evil dog trying to murder them. It's kind of obvious that they were playing with it.
Now tell me where it is before I do something unpleasant.
Whoa, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? When the kids realize that the creepy dude is talking about the recorder, they're taken aback a little bit. The man kind of insults their grandpa. He asks them, do you really think your grandpa got to this point by hard work and skill? And he reveals to them that their grandpa is a fraud, that he has used a magic box to gain his fortune.
What you children would call bogus!
Luckily for their kids, Gramps comes home before the evil guy can do something bad to them. And since the cat is already out of the bag, their grandpa is honest with the kids and he tells them that he acts fearless, but really, he's the most fearful guy around. This guy is scared of everything. And it turns out that Grandpa George and this creepy guy made a deal 30 years earlier. The deal was he would use a box to get everything he wanted, and all their grandpa really wanted was to help people, but he was too afraid to fail. But the creepy guy alludes that he had more nefarious reasons for taking the box. The creepy guy keeps hurtling insults at Grandpa, and Jack doesn't like that he's being mean to his grandpa. So he steps up to the evil guy and tells him to shut up. Damn! Bro must have some really horrible breath. Then the man reveals who he truly is to Ginny.
I am fear itself.
And since he is literally fear, that means he feeds on the fear of people. And the more scared they are, the stronger he is. And this family is starting to get a little bit too cocky for him, so he decides it's time to bring their worst fears back to terrify them. And to save his grandkids, George offers to give him back the box, which is exactly what Fear wanted him to do. Ginny thinks quick on her feet, and she lies and says that she hid the box and only she knows where it is, so she has to go grab it. And while she's away, Fear does what we all want to do from time to time: scare the shit out of little kids. Don't lie. You know it's fun. He starts saying really scary things to Jack as Ginny slowly comes back with the box. And she just simply refuses to give the box to Fear. So he does a very rational thing and threatens to open up the gates of hell and let every demon and monster rip the family to shreds and eat them. Isn't this supposed to be a kid's show? Ginny claims that she can't give Fear the box because she's too afraid to hand it over to him. So Fear stupidly asks her to tell him exactly what she's afraid of. So she sets the box down, turns it on, and says,
I'm afraid of fear. Of fear itself.
Suddenly Fear gets sucked into the magic box through a puff of smoke and the box disappears.
Can we do that again?
No, are you crazy? Bro wants to do it again? Later that night, Jack has a hard time getting some sleep, so he visits his sister's room. And he asks her if their grandpa is a bad guy, but she assures them that their gramps is a great guy, he just made a mistake. And then he asks a question that I'm sure everyone is thinking right now.
Man who said he was fear, is he gone? Is fear gone?
Now that the Fear guy is gone, is fear gone? To which Ginny says yes. So no one will ever feel fear again? Our phobia is just gone forever now? I guess not, because the last thing we see is Ginny hyperventilating at the thought of someone hiding in her closet. And that's where the episode ends. I see why this episode is so highly rated. I mean, it's got a good story, great visuals, it's a good concept, and it has a really creepy antagonist. But of course, even the best stories have a few things that I could nitpick about them. I think this episode would have been a lot better if it was a two-parter episode, just to have more time with the kids and the box, and maybe even show off a few more scary things before fear itself comes into the picture. Like, yeah, a murderer and a killer dog are scary, but this show has had much scarier stuff in it. If it were a two-parter and they had more time, they could have been chased by a ghost or a living doll or a Marilyn Manson wannabe. Like maybe they listened to a few more tapes and released a few more scary things in the house. It would have upped the ante for them a little bit, and they would have to face multiple fears at one time rather than just one fear once. If that makes sense. I guess what I'm trying to say is, for an episode that is about fear, the monsters were a little lackluster. Luckily, this episode is saved by the literal embodiment of fear, who does a phenomenal job. On top of his physically creepy appearance with the pale skin, the eerie stare, creepy smile, and ominous clothes, he acts really unhinged the whole time he's on screen. I also love that they gave him the Morticia Addams treatment with the accents on the eyes. It's really cool. He really steals the show in this episode, and I wish we got to see a little bit more of him. Sadly, there's only so much you can do in a 20-minute time span. But if they had a two-parter, they could have done the first episode with them facing the fear and the second episode with them literally fighting fear himself. That would have been really cool. By the way, Fear is played by Christopher Heyerdahl. I think I said that right. And he has been on this channel before as the dude with the fucked up hair in the Are You Afraid of the Dark episode, The Tale of the 13th Floor. He also plays Nosferatu in the Midnight Madness episode as well. He also plays the demon Alistair in Supernatural. He's honestly in a lot of stuff. He's in a ton of stuff. You've probably seen him around somewhere, somehow. But overall, I really, really like this episode. I don't think it's in my top 5, which is obviously Scarecrow, Dreamcatcher, Flight, Afraid of Clowns, and Pumpkinheads, but it might be in the top 10. Let me know what you think about this episode in the comments below. I have a Patreon. The $5 members get bonus content plus videos a day early, maybe some pictures of my cats, a Discord server, and your name right here on screen. And YouTube members are also lumped in with that. Like the video if you like the video. Thank you for watching the video all the way through. I appreciate you all, and peace.